The tailings dam are geotechnical structure. They're made of tailings, which is soil, that's crushed rock. And if we have seen the advancement in the analysis that we perform under a geotechnical point of view under the tailings dam, you wonder yourself where the risk lies. And that's mostly what we are trying to do. In the past few years, I'm sure the level has increased in the way we are analyzing, interpreting, and gathering data of tailings dams. So, yes, the answer is the factor of safety are not acceptable to today's standards. Because back in 20, 30, 40 years ago, those tailings dams were built according to different standards. I always make the example of cars. 30 years ago, 40 years ago, we don't drive those cars anymore, which is exactly the same of engineering. The engineering profession has increased exponentially on the understanding of soils in tailings dam, which has resulted in a stricter factor of safety. And therefore, in Southern Africa, we're sitting with legacy tailings dam. We're sitting with absolute tailings dam that are 30, 40 years old, and they're standing. So when we go and analyze them, of course, the bell goes up, the alarm goes off. And what we need to do as a professional is not to panic, is to understand what is the risk, trying to quantify the risk. We leading towards risk analysis, and then we're trying together with all the stakeholders to understand what is the real risk. We perform what is called dam breach analysis. We're trying to understand what is the consequence of failure. And we look at the operation of the tailings dam. We dive deep into how the plant is managed. Because if the plant is managed properly, usually that's a sign that the tailings dam gets managed in an adequate manner, that the water is managed. And if we combine all of that, we can create what is called a risk matrix. And therefore, we put in place also further analysis, further geotechnical investigation that try to narrow down the behavior of that tailings dam. So that is what we've been trying to do. Of course, sometimes the brutal truth also comes through when we are the messenger and we have to call our clients to say, we have a problem, we need to address it. But the industry has come a long way, and there is an understanding that when the problem is quantifiable, the risk is quantifiable, then action are taking place. Interestingly enough, the lab testing, laboratory testing, or geotechnical laboratory testing is not just a problem in South Africa or in Southern Africa. It's a worldwide problem. What happened is that the tailings industry has all of a sudden exploded on doing 100 times more the amount of testing that we used to do. So if you look at a commercial lab, they can't keep up because the demand from the morning to the evening increased by tenfold. So a lot of laboratories have now starting to, or have spent the past few years increasing their capacity. The main question is the quality. There is a lot of laboratory, and I know of some laboratory that they're looking for work. So it's not really the capacity of laboratory testing, it's good quality. And in the industry we're living in, we need to rely on good quality because we can, like we were talking earlier, the risk lies with the interpretation. We build the risk. So if that testing does not come through, or there is a fault or a flaw, because remember that there is a machine component, but there is a human component. Unfortunately, maybe we will get there where we will get technology to do the testing on their own, but at the moment there is a huge human component that is skills. And I'm sure I don't have to mention the skill deficiency we're feeling in the industry at the moment. So that is where the lab testing is coming through. There is a lot of lab that they're starting to grow. What we do on our side, we're trying to corroborate different investigation in the sense of we're trying to do more in situ testing, we're trying to go to historical testing. We have a huge library of geotechnical investigation. We have 103 years old, therefore we can go through back to reports written by hand and we can find those testing that can give you an idea while you're waiting for the lab. So it's a progress approach that we're using at the moment. And that's, I think, how we address it.